Hello everyone, it's Danny. So a viewer of mine asked me on one of my videos how to induce some keiki production into orchids. And I did answer him that the best way and most efficient way I know is by using keiki based actually. And you have a full step-by-step description on how to do that made by Suniti here on YouTube, and I will share the link to that video on the description. So if you have keiki based or you want to try it, visit that link and you will see how to actually do it. Now, I'm not really interested in keikis because I don't really have that much room, but at some point I was kind of interested. So here are some tips and some information that I read back then when I was interested. So with Phalaenopsis orchids, you have to know that all of them are prone to keikis. Most of them will produce basal keikis, but there is a way to, let's say, try to promote some keikis from the stems as well. Now, the most obvious one is to actually cut the bloom spike. After the blooms are done, try to cut it just above the last node. As you can see here, this one has a little branch. But you can actually get a keiki as well. I'm not sure if it focuses. So yeah, cut the flower spike just above the last node you see, below where the first flowers started to open. And yeah, that will actually make the orchid either produce a secondary spike, either produce a keiki. Depends what she wants. Now, another way of doing things, and I read this on a different forum here in my country, I'm not really sure if this works, but what you have to do is actually find a node and try to remove this this little sheet of I'm not sure how to call it. It's where the node is protected. It's like a protection, and I'm not really sure if I will properly do this. Okay, just remove this thing and you will see the little nubbin here. Now this one can produce a keiki or can produce a flower spike. Again, it's up to the orchid. But what could help you actually to get some keiki is maybe some coconut water, not milk, coconut water, just apply it because it has some hormones, some growth hormones, and you can apply it here. Now, keiki paste can be also applied here this way, but in case you don't have keiki paste, this is what I know. And also, you can apply a mixture of a certain plant. I will find out the name in English and I will type it. I'll put it on the screen. Make a mixture of that plant and some water, and yeah, maybe just try to tap it or put some sphagnum moss soaked in that water here, and maybe this will promote some keikis as well because that plant contains some hormones or something like that. Anyway, I just don't know how to call it in English, but I will type it for you guys. Also, feeding this orchid with some high nitrogen fertilizer could help. Nitrogen actually promotes vegetative growth. I'm not sure if I pronounced it correctly, so it might actually help you get a little keiki from this nubbin. Now, all these methods are not 100% proof, neither is keiki paste, but you do have more chances with keiki paste. But if you don't have all of that, you can definitely try this. Now, let's see some other orchids. Now, presumably, you don't necessarily want some flowers out of your Dendrobium nobile orchids, but you do want to have some keikis for some reason. Well, the best way to do this is to actually not provide the winter rest, but most importantly, keep fertilizing this plant. If by any chance any cane matures in the middle of summer or in the spring and it doesn't really have that drop in temperature and it's constantly fed and moist, it will start to produce these keikis along the cane, the mother cane. Now, personally, I really dislike them. I don't like them one bit, so I intend to remove them when they grow just a little bit more and pot them up here. But yeah, this is a sure way to actually get more keikis out of a Dendrobium nobile. Maybe it's a sick orchid and you don't want to rebloom it, but you do want to have some growth and some keikis just to make sure that you will be able to keep this plant alive by regenerating it. So I would say this is the best way to do it. Keep it warm. Fertilize it regularly with high nitrogen fertilizer, and I think in most cases you will definitely get a keiki. Okay, as you may already know, Oncidium orchids don't produce keikis, they only produce new pseudobulbs. And no Oncidium will produce another plant from the flower spike. No Oncidium, no intergeneric, no Multoniopsis, nothing that has pseudobulbs I will not refer to species here because I'm not sure what there's out there, but none of the common Oncidium orchids or Oncidium types will produce any keikis. Anyway, somebody told me that the word keiki refers to a baby sprouted from a Phalaenopsis spike, so it's not really correct to name all sorts of offshoots as keikis, but everybody calls them keikis. At the end of the day, you can call them whatever you like. New growth, keikis, offshoot, whatever you like. So, okay, that's my 2 cents on how to promote some keiki growth, or at least just what I read on the internet and where I noticed that keikis usually come from. So if you want to try them out, it's a good way to experiment with your orchids. Why not? So hopefully you found this helpful, and thank you for joining. If you'd like to see other videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and obviously you can leave me any questions or suggestions in a comment below. So I'll see you next time. Bye bye!